Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. And I get sent pictures and videos and emails and links. And if you would like to send me something for a video, my email is in the description box below. So this first email comes in from a community member with some pictures. And she said, watching yesterday's video because I didn't get to watch meatballs. Yes. Okay. So I will do a video on how to can meatballs for you guys. Okay. She said, I'm actually canning them right now as I'm watching on shortages. Oh, okay. She said, I did, however, get them pre-made from Food Line for $3.99 for 18 to 20 ounce package. I got three and the total was $12. Not bad at all. I thought, plus helped me time-wise cheaper per pound. True. I was thinking when I do my meatball video of doing the pre-mades as well, only because, when you're doing homemades, okay, that's what I call them, my homemades, the meatballs, and you cook them over time and stuff like that because it's not cooking Italian meatballs is not as easy as everyone thinks. You have to, because you sometimes you use two different meats, okay, and then you have to either oven cook them first or fry pan them first, and then you put them in the sauce to cook them and stuff like that. So it's a process. It's not just something like, oh, I'm just going to stuff these in a jar, pour some sauce over them, and I'll pressure can them. No. So I think that with a little bit of doctoring, I can make pre-made meatballs taste good. If you wouldn't mind sharing a recipe with me, I would really appreciate that. Okay. She said, I let them come to room temperature from the fridge, from frozen in the fridge for about 2 days. Stuff them in the jars, add beef broth. I already have some pre-made beef broth from when I did a beef pot roast the other night, and I kept the beef broth. It's in a mason jar in the fridge. She said, I save broth to make gravy for rice and mashed potatoes and even Swedish meatballs. Okay, so I'll use my beef broth that I used that I kept from the beef pot roast, and I'll use that for the meatballs. I'll just have to wait until to get the meatballs because I have to have going to the dentist on Monday. Yeah, because this is getting really bad. So I've been using clove oil so much that I actually burned my skin right here. Yeah, that's what that is. I don't know if you can tell the redness, but anyway. So she sent in some really awesome pictures of her meatballs, and they look amazeball. Here you go. So here is a email from a community member. She said, my husband and I, a couple of weeks ago, are rotating canned goods and inspecting them, marking the dates, etc., on the front of the cans. We check for bulging and rust, etc. Everything seemed to look good. Before I opened the can of green beans, I pressed the top of the lid and felt something hit my shirt. Uh-oh. It turned out the bottom of the seam had a leak, and the liquid came out in a seam when I put pressure on it. The seam looked good, but there was enough of a hole to do that. Never crossed my mind to double check the top of the lid after we just did this 2 weeks ago. From now on, I'm going to have to do this even if it has a sell-by date of a year or two beyond. Ooh, okay. Friendly reminder, guys. Check those seams on those cans. Darn. So this article was sent in by a community member, and I'll leave the link in the description box below. And she said an airline has announced it will begin weighing passengers with their carry-on luggage in order to better estimate the plane's weight before takeoff. Okay, so the controversial move comes from Finnish carrier Finnair, who told media they began measuring passengers departing from Helsinki on Monday. So far, more than 500 volunteer customers have participated in the weigh-ins. So let me guess. If you are heavy set, they're not going to let you on. Is that it's either you or the bag? Is that? I mean, I don't know. I'm okay. No. So here is an article that was sent in by a community member, and it's about her nephew. And she's very, very proud, and I'm proud for her. And I'm very happy for her and her nephew. Her nephew's name is Logan Campbell, and he's a seasoned entrepreneur. And he began a creation. It's called the Dream Clean Team LLC, and he started this in 2017. This business lays out the foundation for a remarkable trajectory, one marked by breakthrough and growth. The Dream Clean Team LLC provides Airbnb cleaning services, has become a notable presence in the home cleaning service industry. Since its inception, it has achieved significant revenue growth, reflecting its impact and success within the sector. Congratulations, Logan. I'm very, very happy for you. I think it's awesome. And congratulations to your aunt because I'm very happy for her because she is so proud of you. So very proud. The link will be in the description box. Okay, so here is something that was sent in by my husband. Okay, and I just want you to pause and read. Okay. So here's something that was sent in by a community member. It is estimated that plans for America's farm industry will push cheese costs up for consumers up 78%. Beef will go up 70%, rice 56%, chicken 39%, eggs 36%. A typical family of four will have to spend an extra $1,300 per year to put food on the table. This agenda includes much higher costs for diesel, propane, fertilizer, and other things. Farmers will push these costs onto consumers, meaning cheese, beef, and other everyday basics will cost as much as 80% more. Raising a family of four, your bill is obviously going to go up significantly higher. It is apparent that if farmers do not lower their emissions, they will face, okay, and this is what caught me off guard. They're going to face droughts, fires, floods, and other extreme weather events. Oh, gee whiz, like we haven't witnessed this in the past. How many farms went up in smoke in the past and caused problems to the meat and dairy industry? We all know it was not at the fault of the farmers. We knew it wasn't a conspiracy. We knew it was all planned. Thank you very much. So here's an email with some pictures for some really awesome inspiration from a community member. She said, so what do I do on a rainy 60-degree day? What do you do, sweetie? She said, I put another shelving unit together. She said, so I organized the unit, reorganized more things with the like. One of our prepper dilemmas, stashing food wherever we can put it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. She said, please don't get discouraged, family. I have been doing this for my large family my whole life and double time past 5 years. I hope this inspires all. Note, I zip tie units together for more support. What are the zip ties made out of, darling? Because no zip ties that I've ever found are strung up. She said this unit holds 2,200 pounds, though. That's awesome. I love it. So here's a short email from a community member. There was a post on Nextdoor. Do you know what that app is? Um, Someone broke into somebody's house and they took a dozen eggs. Talk about desperate times, desperate measures, desperate people. What the heck? Okay, so I received an email from a community member, and she knows a family that is in great need. Okay. They do have a GoFundMe, and she said, please share it with the community. Donate if you want to. She said, but just please share it so it gets out there. She said it would be greatly appreciated. This family is quite literally stranded in the middle of nowhere. They do not have a running vehicle. There are no stores close by and no work to be found. They have lost so much, and I would like to see them get the help that they need to be able to move on. They have a friend with a cabin, so they may get started on a real home, but they have to be able to get to it. Again, thank you and God bless. God bless anyone who sees it in their hearts to help with this family, a veteran wife. Um, if anyone is interested in helping, the GoFundMe link is in the description box below. And she said that I can give her email out to anyone who wants more information on this family. Now, I did pull up the link for the GoFundMe, and it says, "Hello and God bless. I am raising money for my 30-plus year best friend and his small family. My friend is a dual service veteran, 8 years USMC, 6 years USCG. He's a Marine. Hoorah, son. With a loving wife and disabled young son with Down syndrome. They have been traveling to Alaska from Alabama in search of a fresh start on life. They have been on the road for nearly 3 years. The move should have been a few months at best, but turned into multiple near-death experiences and events almost designed to destroy their psyche and will go on. They have been planning to move to Alaska for several years. They stocked up on supplies, equipment, gear, crunched numbers, and carefully laid out exact plans. My long-time friend had been saving his VA home loan specifically to buy land there and start a homesteading farm to get away, cabins for guests. Their disabled son loves animals and wildlife and would do very well in this setting. They need to help now in their final push to get there. They need to raise at least $5,000 more to finish the move. The money will go towards shipping their belongings and securing passage by barge. Here is a glimpse of the hardships that they have faced. It was 2021. C-19 set the world on fire, especially Alabama, who went all in on destroying itself and the people. New terms emerged, such as public school lockdowns, essential, non-essential business and people, social distancing, etc. My friends found themselves in a destroyed economy under near martial law conditions. Being the strong, independent types, they found themselves to be in unsurvivable circumstances in the middle of remodeling their home to sell at a better price for the move. The housing market began to crash. Construction supplies rose a couple 100%, and quality of materials was mostly unusable at best, assuming it was available. Mold-ridden lumber at ridiculous prices by the pallet at Lowe's and Home Depot. Oh, I remember that. Food supplies crashed. Rationing began. Utilities costs steadily rocketed, and mandates rained down across Alabama. They just knew it. Get out now or go down with the ship. Time was up, ready or not. They sold their home to investors at a loss. Feeling blessed to get anything at all, the investor told them he was very busy. He was to close on 175 houses in the area that week. They now had 30 days to find a vehicle to move them and their stuff cross country, which was not their plans. They made the best choice out of what was available and purchased a partially converted U-Haul from another veteran who assured them it was sound and would make the journey. They hired a top mechanic in the area just to be sure and repaired a few little things that he pointed out. They left all but necessities, bought a few necessary items for the homestead, recrunched their numbers, and decided they still had more than enough for the trip and to get them started once there. They left in August of 2021, never made it across the state line before their major breakdown and near-death experiences. They rounded what is locally called Dead Man's Curve. The entire rear driver's side wheel assembly came off. Wow. They saw both wheels fly past them, never to be seen again, as the rear of their truck slammed down into the pavement, forcing them into oncoming traffic. By the grace of God, they were able to pull within 1 inch of the drop off of a ravine, which surely would have rolled them, towing my friend's small 4x4 and its extra tires probably aided in the massive shift of weight from a total loss of control. It took 5 hours for a tow truck to accept such a dangerous and likely unsuccessful tow. The driver told them, "God told me to save this family." All the other companies told him it could not be done. My friend said in all his years in the military and in his life, he'd never been so scared and mentally destroyed over what almost happened to him and his family that day. To recount, the rear of the 31,000-pound truck completely collapsed on one side, which sent them uncontrollably through about 100 yards of oncoming high-speed traffic on a small two-lane major highway, with nowhere to go but down steep ravines on both sides. The tow truck driver said he would try to get them off the highway and somewhere safe. He somehow managed to tow the massive truck from the rear with mother and son sitting next to him while he verbally prayed the entire time. My friend stayed on the highway with his little truck due to the fact there was no room for him, and he wanted to stay behind to ensure the safety of the belongings left behind. The little truck was packed to the brim with their supplies and equipment. He did not know where his family was being taken, nor did he know if they would get there safely. All he had was his faith. The wife had to leave her husband on that dangerous highway alone in the dark and pray he would not get robbed or injured. She also knew if something else happened, neither of them would know, or where to even look for the other. Dear God. Finally, after mother and son had been gone for nearly 2 hours, a police officer showed up at the scene where my friend was sitting. He was extremely upset and became standoffish with the officer, and the officer asked him what was going on. My friend was prior law enforcement and could see right through what this officer really wanted, but he explained the situation anyway. The officer never asked any questions regarding the accident 7 or 8 hours ago or if anyone was okay. It was clear the only thing he wanted to do was search the truck and what was in it. My friend reminded the officer that he was a veteran prior law enforcement and didn't have so much as a single ticket on his record for at least a decade, and the officer ran check for wants and warrants and came back asking him again to unsecure the little truck so he could search it. My friend, being agitated at this point, said, "No, you cannot search my truck." After 5 minutes later, two more cruisers showed up. Oh my God. The officers aggressively confronted my friend directly. The officer in charge stated, "You can either allow us to search your truck or we're going to tow the truck and you go to jail." Oh, jeez. My friend told them, "You are a disgrace to the uniform. You don't give a damn." When you repeatedly drove by earlier, but waited until I was alone with my little truck in the dark to show up. At this moment, my friend was alone in the little truck. Prepared himself to face what was about to happen next. Marines don't back down. That's right. My friend took his phone out before anyone could move, called his wife and told her in front of the officers he was going to jail and that her and the tow truck driver needed to at least hear what was about to happen next. His wife, now crying hysterically, begged and pleaded for him to just let them do whatever they wanted so he can come back to her. His wife at this point is scared because she already felt alone and knew in her heart she would not see her husband again. She could not bear the thought of being without her other half and their son without their daddy. She knew she would be all alone, no longer a home to go to, no family to speak of, just her and her son trying to survive from here. After everything that just happened, she was also very aware that during a national state emergency, law enforcement can and will do whatever they want. That meant her husband would not willingly allow them to take him away from her and take their stuff. Tow truck driver took the phone and began to talk to the officer in charge to try and stop something even worse from happening. My friend stood down and secured the truck. Reason and love won. He would not allow his family to be left alone in this nightmare. A wise man chooses the battlegrounds and conditions, not allows it to be thrust upon him. Even though he was right, he would not abandon his family by choice. An officer searched the truck, gave my friend 10 minutes reprimand for not complying, and quickly left him on the side of the road. He learned yet another big lesson that day. Sometimes you have to stand down for something that's more important at that time. Times that had changed in Alabama. Back in the day, a police officer never would have passed by the scene of an accident without stopping to make sure everyone was okay. They counted approximately 5 or 6 patrol cars that passed them that day, and not one stopped. They finally made it to the upper Northwest, which is where they have remained all because of that last mountain. That last mountain won. It took 6.5 hours to go 4 miles down that mountain. My friend walked in front of the truck to ensure they didn't run over anything and pop a tire, while his wife drove in second gear all the way to the closest exit. They would go about a quarter mile and had to stop to let the truck cool off, but they made it. They limped into a gas station, thankfully, to be off the road. The clerk told them they could stay the night, but would have to leave in the morning. The owner didn't allow parking there. My friend told me that by the time they were down to a few $100s beyond mental and physical exhaustion, close to true mental breakdowns, they would physically turn pale and shake just from getting into the big truck's cab. According to my friend's wife, the constant strain and stress of driving the truck, never knowing what the next major thing would happen, and if it did, the journey would be over. That caused them to involuntarily jump and panic with every noise that the truck made. They realized too late that the big truck was much more than they could handle. Even their child's fearless service dog now cringed when told to get into the truck. Oh my God, there's so much more to this. So much more. I encourage you to go to this link and just read it. Just read it. Just read it. Please. And before I go, here is a video that was sent in by a community member. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.
So Chile suffered from a wildfire a couple of days ago, right? Everyone technically lost their homes, cars, everything. But somebody took a video that was very questionable. And I'm gonna play it right now. And you guys let me know what you think about this. ¿Será verdad la teoría de la casa azul? Now look, I'm not one to believe in coincidences, right? I believe everything happens by design. How many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible? Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know, guys. Like, this is a very interesting occurrence. The house was barely touched, okay? Everything around it demolished, burned to ashes. But somehow it managed to stand still. Now, I'm sure some of you remember this video, right? I'm not gonna go into it too much. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I want you guys to comment and let me know what you think about this, because I don't know how many people seen that video, but yeah, that's a strange coincidence, if you know what I'm saying. So let me know what you guys think about this, because yeah, I need to hear some opinions and ideas.